Most business owners in Florida don't actually want more documents. What they want is the feeling of knowing that things will keep running, even if they're not the one holding everything together. Because if you really think about it, that's the real goal. It's not paperwork, it's not a binder, it's not checking a box. It's certainty. It's knowing that what you have built does not depend entirely on you being present every single day. And that's where a lot of planning quietly misses the mark. Because there's a difference between paperwork and continuity, business continuity. So when business owners come to me, the question is usually, what documents do I need? And that question makes sense. But underneath it, there's usually a quieter question. If I'm not available, what actually happens to my business? Does it keep moving? Or does everything slow down or pause? And once that question comes up, things start to shift. Because now we're not talking about documents anymore. We're talking about function. We're talking about structure. We're talking about whether the business actually works without you. Let me give you a real example. I worked with a business owner who had done everything right. They had an LLC, strong revenue, a team, long-standing client relationships. From the outside, everything looked stable. Then something unexpected happened. They became temporarily unavailable. Not permanently, but long enough that decisions needed to be made without them. And this is where things started to break down. The team did not have clear authority. They knew how to operate the business, but they did not have the legal ability to make certain decisions. The bank would not release information. Contracts needed signatures, but no one was clearly authorized to sign. Vendors started asking questions. Clients started noticing delays. Nothing collapsed overnight, but everything slowed down. And in business, slow is expensive. Now, here's the key point. They had documents, they had an entity, they had done what most people are told to do. But what they did not have was business continuity by design. There was no clear structure for who steps in, when they step in, what they're allowed to do, and how decisions are to continue. So everything defaulted to uncertainty, and uncertainty creates hesitation. This is where most plans fail, quietly. Now, just so you understand where this perspective is coming from, I'm Sonia Muñoz-Gallagher, an estate planning and business succession attorney here in Florida, and the owner of Family Wealth Law Firm. I've worked on every side of business and legal issues. I've seen businesses in litigation. I've sued business owners. I've seen what happens when things break down. I've worked inside the probate court system and seen how quickly things become complicated and litigious when there's no clear structure. So when I look at a business, I'm not just looking at how it works when everything is going well. I'm looking at how it holds up when something goes wrong. And that's where the distinction becomes critical. Continuity is not created by paperwork. It's created by structure, framework, and design. Documents support a plan, but they do not replace one. A real continuity plan looks at authority, timing, decision-making, transitions. It answers questions before they become urgent. Because once continuity is tested, there's no pause button. Business does not wait. Clients do not wait. Banks do not wait. Partners do not wait. And the people around you, they don't respond to intentions. They respond to certainty. And certainty comes from structure, not just formation. Now, if you've collected documents over time, that's very common. Most business owners do. They build first, they grow, they solve problems as they come up. But eventually they reach a point where they start asking, does all of this actually work together? Does my business function without me being the one holding everything together? And that's usually the moment where planning shifts, where the mentality shifts from a checklist to a framework that supports what you have built, a framework that allows the business to continue without friction. And that's exactly what I walk through in my free masterclass for business owners and professionals. I break down how continuity is actually designed, where most gaps exist without you realizing it, and how to structure things so that your business keeps running in real world situations. Because this is not about doing more. This is about making sure that what you have already built actually holds up. If this resonates with you and you're starting to think, okay, I need to understand how this would actually work in my situation, then the next step is it's simple. Go to www.familywealthlaw.net/webinars and register for the free masterclass. Once you go through it, you'll start to see your business differently, not just in terms of growth, but in terms of stability, of control, and of long-term continuity. And that is what truly allows a business to sustain what it has built.